playstyles.
What are we potentially looking at here with the way Anonymo is setting up? It looks like a potential A split.
Yeah, definitely presence up towards mid. With the 2 players in the spike outside of cave, you're expecting it to be through doors into mid, and with this early knife too, that'll clear any sort of early peek from double doors. So as soon as that goes down, they see there's no one there, and they can very quickly hit this site with a very deep Viper's wall.
Oh, Fragment's going to come in a second too late, and the swing out from Musashi and Lynxy is dealt with very quickly here for Anonymo. Rebels down 2 players and have to think about a retake.
And because they have this wall and because they hit the site so convincingly, like, this means they could be playing all the way up, like, right in front of triple. It makes it really hard to clear any space back onto the site, although Janny does some good work to get back through double doors, and there's no one actually playing up towards this triple box. Everyone is back in cave. So as Janny comes up, he clears that away, and it's just that one player back towards the right pyramid that they have to worry about in terms of, like, players on this site.
Yeah, and the job of Sneak here is just to try and slow and delay, right? Just buy some time so that those snakebite lineups for the late round become even more potent. And as the time ticks on, they are finding a couple of kills here, Rebels, back into the site, but still 2 to find. The Headhunter lands, and Admik now just sitting back in the cave. They can't get on the defuse. There's no time left. It will be a pistol for Anonymo. Good damage done for Rebels on the way out, though.
Yeah, they just stalled out enough time, and again, it had to do with how convincing that site hit was. Rebels had to be very cautious in how they were going to end up retaking that site, and I think you can sort of see that in this round too, like very creative mid splits onto A, especially with the changes to that triple box into the site, kind of like what Lothar was talking about. It leads to much more dynamic holds. Of course, Anonymo didn't really change much things up. It was just playing sort of post plant from cave, but just the option being there definitely slows things down just a little bit. And as we see another creative Viper wall, defensively a little bit more aggressive here, like we saw on the opposite side through a cave. That just means that you have to be a little bit more present, that there could be some defensive pushes. And right now, that push is going to be all the way up through mid with this scout to watch the cross, and Sus is so good for it. Gets one and the tag.
Yeah, obviously the expectation of this round, not much expectations really at all for Rebels. They should be getting taken down by the superior buy of Anonymo. They've decided to save the majority of their credits for the next round. Anonymo now taking those first 2 picks in mid, thinking about a B play to round this out. And you know, we're looking at the comp setup. There's no real changes from what these guys are comfortable with rocking on this map. You know, obviously, they both are of this similar mindset of how to play this one out. You have to agree with this comp, Ender?
Yeah, this is sort of like the de facto comp. Big switch-ups would be like maybe a Cypher over a Chamber. Some people will argue whether or not the Chamber gives you more like outplay potential in a way with the TP. Cypher is going to give you very consistent value round to round with the camera being available to you. But I think like a lot of the way that Breeze comes down in terms of like util play is like, how much value can you get from like your KO? So like studying your opponent's play patterns as KO, you want to know where the Viper likes to play normally on site, so you can make sure you're hitting her both attacking and defending, be able to shut down her utility, because that matters so much. The Viper's wall is the most important piece of utility on this map to cut off those massive sight lines on both sides, like I'm saying. So the creativity of your Viper player and what, you know, unique walls you can set up, like we already saw back in round 1. I absolutely loved that coming through from Anonymo. Those are sort of the 2 agents that I always look to find more variance in their Breeze play.
Well, now we've got the buy coming out for Rebels. They're finally to the rifles. They saved last round. They did a little bit of damage in that last round, a couple of kills on the way out. But nonetheless, it is the full bonus really coming through for Anonymo. If they win this, their economy is going to be in a great spot. But we have to set the context, you guys at home. Absolutely should not be Anonymo with the highest percentage chance of winning this round.
Sir.
Rebels would love to get on the board.
Yeah, you can see actually triple pings by double doors from Rebel. So expecting some kind of mid-aggression like we saw in the pistol round. And for Maniac, what I love to do on KO2 is just farm orbs. So I see he has 3 orbs in his hand. It's about to be 4. There, you'll love to see it. KOs always go for that shop orb. It's really hard to hold unless you're doing some sort of like very aggressive Viper wall that cuts out through cave, which some teams do like to do. There are a couple rounds where you'll see Vipers try to throw up that wall to either feign a push or actually go for it themselves with maybe a KO right behind it to be able to pop flash from behind that wall. There's a lot of creativity you can come up with that, but really just cycling as much as you can get with that KO ult gives you so much value on the attacking half.
Under a minute left. Anonymo already holding the advantage. Not the best position for Rebels to be in, and now they're even rotating to the wrong side of the map. Oh, the Rebels about to have just one player to try and take out here on this B side.
And I love that Anonymo are going to be able to like leave potentially Sus just in mid to watch double doors, to watch the late rotations over. Like that can be so powerful because a lot of times you'll see people, you know, kind of aggressively go through those double doors. So Viper Wall has been held this entire time, going to wall off tunnel and arches. They're going to be left with a completely empty site here. Lynxy is going to have to wait for his entire team to get back here before he feels comfortable peeking out from behind the wall.
And again, the context of this round is this is a bonus for Anonymo. This is Rebels and the full investment, and they are yet to even get a kill on the board.
The timing.
Such strike coming into play. You pointed out his importance. Well, he's hit the headshot. Gatch goes down. Advantage doubled now for Anonymo. Finally, Lynxy, the passive play, able to make it happen. Rendezvousing out of dodge, though. He's going to keep Anonymo up with 3 players. Kamik gets out of dangerous positions, and now sneaks position from Arches worked out for 1. Would have loved to follow up, but the time is starting to tick now for Rebels, and luckily have got Janny on the team. 3 picked up, right through the cloudburst. The headshot for Kamik closes it out. The bonus for Anonymo, and a nightmare start for Rebels.
No way. The last bullet of the spray, too, just finds the headshot and gets the kill. I mean, Anonymo getting away with murder right there. And again, it comes down to really solid mid-rounding from them. They got that first pick over in Halls, and then went silent, slowly crept up through mid and left their jet there. Sus was there for so long, then gets a crucial headshot to cut off one of the rotations through Nest. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. It goes down to the wire. But it's rounds like that that if Anonymo can try to continually stack up are completely going to change the pace, especially on the attacking side, being able to steal those away and steal them away early. That's a big blow to Rebels.
And look at this buy for Rebels. I mean, look what you're back down to immediately. Obviously, you're going to try and keep a 2K average across the board just so they can get the buy into the next round, but this is not looking pretty. Drone coming out of cave does spot out close position of Vakashu. Fragment coming in just a slow Anonymous, so they can't capitalize on that opening, but they have found that headshot. Vakashu down. Now Musashi plays into the site. He does have 1 flash available, and Lynxy now rotating over. And with Janny's shot from the Bladestorm ringing out elsewhere, the numbers are again even.
Bladestorm always gives you a chance to win out in a round like this. And there's a pop flash right behind that wall. Comes on through Musashi. He doesn't have enough bullets, and he does some tricks with a butterfly knife. But 2 kills is huge for the team.
Yeah, that's absolutely massive. Maniac at least pulling that back. Now Janny and Lynxy, they know this is a chance back into it, but the Bladestorm's gonna miss. And Lynxy now into the 1 versus 2. The Marshall waiting for the mistake, waiting for the overextension, but Anonymo have been disciplined so far. They've been absolutely perfect and do not make these kind of mistakes often. Lynxy needs them to make it. It's a win condition for him. Now he begins to realize that's not coming anytime soon, so brings the fight to them. Aware of the last position, the classic pulled, but Sus recovers it for Anonymo. 4 rounds on the board, but so damn close to being a miracle there for Rebels.
29 HP. What a scary round. Just completely ridiculous. Musashi with the timing of the KO flash again. KO and Viper. That's what this map is about so much of the time. And, you know, if he has any other gun, he gets a 3rd there too. But just 20 bullets, 2 kills is the max he's going to be able to find on that one. And a heroic effort coming through from Musashi, but Anonymo win the round. And again, I think it's important to note, like, they go back to basics versus the thrifty round of Rebels. Like, that's the most standard A play you can get, the most standard Viper wall, grouping as a team. They just had the 1 player, I think it was Kamik, that was waiting outside cave, and he died to the Bladestorm. Completely understandable. And then, of course, now you know Rebels can have some money, so this is where it's going to get a little bit more patient. As they try to figure out where perhaps an operator could be. They try to get some mid presence and leave their options open to rotating. That's what's so important in a map like Breeze. Having mid presence, having 1 player outside of B, or at least information with those chamber tripwires as well. And that's going to signal the slow move back towards elbow.
With Janny's advanced position, if he goes a little bit wider, you'll get a lot of information that the cave is clear. Obviously, a risk comes with that as the operator. The rotation back, they don't have a lot of info right now, so Rebels still leaning the majority of their players over towards A, but given the trademark, they'll get some early warning system here.
Important that Vakashu used his drone to clear out Halls. They know it's not there. Now the quick hit onto A.
Gatch trying to hold the site. Oh, he's getting a spam down. Admit can sneak, taking every kill between them, and Maniac back up to his feet. So 5 players still in battle here for Anonymo. A big effort needed here from Musashi. He's going to get caught. Flash brings him down. 1 for 1. 4v2 right now for Anonymo. Feeling good in this post plant. that White Peak is going to cost the life of Zus. It's now the 2 remaining players from Rebels starting to rattle up their speed a little bit back into this, but given the fact that you're in such good positions here with Anonymo, it's hard to see how Rebels make this happen. They get on towards the defuse. It's being stuck. It's over half already. Unfortunately for Fakashu, his teammate's down, but suddenly there is a chance for him. He holds for the peek out window. He's found the headshot. Now one left. He's come close, but couldn't quite make it happen onto Maniac. A valiant attempt, but it is nothing more but a 5th round for Anonymo.
Wow, the sight hit was so, and it comes so close at the end of it all again, even with such convincing sight hit. I forgot my ABCs for a second right there, but it's very good that the basics were not forgotten by Anonymo in that one, in a 3-on-1. Ended up giving Vukashu a lot of these 1-on-1s. They even had like double shock darts in the Hunter's Fury, but we're playing on site with that Sova. Was a bit chaotic at the end of that round, to be sure. But Anonymo just keeps stacking these up, and I'm not really sure what Rebels can try to figure out here, because like they got the initial pick, but it was on to an initiating KO, right? Maniac just instantly got rezzed up, so a lot of the early damage that was done by the anchors on the site just didn't end up mattering for them whatsoever. And you can see with the chamber trademark outside of B main, they're not even playing on site, maybe just quickly trying to reflank them through elbow here with a drone off of it too.
For Rebels, they can't even really get that quick flank going around the backside. They're slowed and held back, and initially Rebels were just hoping they'd catch Anonymo coming towards their side of play. I mean, they ran him back with some of these lower buy rounds, and they know they're going up against the economy. You've seen Anonymo lean towards A. This round they change it up, they go back towards the B side of things, and it's working out so well for them. They take it down 2, just trying to limit the casualties, really build this economy. Lost a couple of players over the last few rounds, so if Anonymo can keep it clean, they'll certainly feel a lot more comfortable. But Gatch has found 2 on the Headhunter, and is searching for another head in the hunt. Moving forward though, Admit has stopped the push forward, and Kamik will close 6 in a row now for Anonymo.
All right, it's time to sort of look at the trends and figure out what's been going wrong for Rebels, because I feel like, excuse me, few different rounds here, Rebels have played like very light presence in mid. Like we haven't seen much peeking out of double doors, much attention outside of vents, or not vents, out of nest either from this Rebels side. And that round, of course, we had a few players working in towards elbow and it wasn't a problem. But in a couple of the previous ones, I think that Anonymo have been able to take a lot of space virtually uncontested up through mid, cut them off during the rotations, and that's caused some problems for Rebels when all they can really do is come out of, you know, arches onto the B site or just out of defender spawn onto A. You know, there hasn't been a lot of play early on in the round through mid, so that's something I think I'd like to see a little bit more out from Rebels. Also worth noting, we have like every ultimate in the game online. Maniac's the only one on Anonymo that doesn't have it. Janny doesn't have it on the Jet, but has the operator, so that doesn't really matter either. So probably going to see a pretty early Viper's Pit used on one of these 2 sites. So I think with a Viper's Pit, if you feel comfortable with that, locking down either the entrance into B or to A, you can then invest a little bit more in retaining some mid presence, whether it's going to be off the information you get from a KO knife or a Sova dart. Like, you have the info tools to play a little bit more aggressively towards mid. I'm hoping that's what we do end up seeing here, is with the rotation of Lynxy towards A, gonna see that Viper's Pit go down in A main. You would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if they use it up right away, but currently, look at the control towards A main being taken towards Cave. It's actually the first point of contact for Rebels is Janny in mid. He's looking for an opening, but not getting any info.
Hey, but that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see some mid presence, and now you actually cut off the rotations with that angle. So if this early A, you know, move through Cave doesn't end up working out for them, they back away. There's going to be an operator waiting for them, and this is a look we have not seen just yet, but Sus doesn't see him. Oh my god, both Jets like ships in the night. Neither one is able to find a kill.
Yeah, that felt very close for comfort. It would be a very difficult shot to land from Sus's perspective, right? You come around that corner, you're not exactly looking just right up on top of that wall, but 55 seconds, we go under a minute, Anonymo starts to lean towards A.
Yeah, no Viper wall down just yet, but they're setting up for that default wall. KO can come down to slow the hit, and that's going to be so important, right? As soon as the Viper wall goes up, I believe that was already used. That's what the suppress coming down has been. No. It's very hard to tell. It was just a 0 point, but now the ult is going to come in. There you go.
There we go. Null command sent up indeed. And Maniac now starting to figure out, can he get any further? But the Hunter's Fury, the flash combo. And good night, Maniac. That is a heavy dose of sleeping pill right there. Lynxy making quick work of him. 14 seconds left. Not a lot of time.
I think it's a
Kamik
save.
starts to make his play through double door. And yeah, at this point with such limited time, you've got no other option. You have to either just charge right now or save. And they go for the charge option. And it's ended up backfiring.
Yeah, at the same time, I figure you can go ahead and send it. I think Anonymo are like maxed out on money after winning 7 rounds in a row. So Sus holds on to the operator. The rest of the team can sort of go in and see exactly what they can get. But what an awkward round, I feel like, for Anonymo. They had so many ults to try and break into site themselves, but didn't end up popping any of them and just stalled out on time. They didn't want to rotate off A once they knew that there was an operator potentially pushed very far up into mid. And you can see what early mid presence can gather for a team. You can see what having KO ult online can do in terms of shutting down a site hit the 0 point as well. Just led to like a stacking up of like 20 seconds of Anonymo not being able to do anything.
There's that Viper's Pit being used this time around. Now we used down towards cave area, just outside of A main, and at this point it is a slow default from Anonymo. They've sent Sneak up in towards the horse. He's going to open up that doorway.
Open the door and then fall back. Yeah, because they used the Viper's Orb just to sort of say, hey, we could be here if we wanted. Even using the drone too to try and spot how many players are going to be back on site if anyone was pulled out of the Viper's Pit. Thanks to the door opening.
He's actually committed to this now, because that door is now down, so needs to use his teammates' help to get out of dodge. And in fact, Musashi is playing very confidently. He actually moves a little bit further into the aggressive stance and now swings. Goes softened up by that shock dart and ends up getting removed.
To me, I think Sus is almost the most interesting player in this round. Kamik too in mid. There's about to be a firefight in mid if Kamik just turns around the corner at exactly the right time. I think Janny saw a shoulder. Fires the shot but doesn't land it. And again, this round gets so chaotic now because there's another player pushed up mid, engaged, but he's not going to see any of those rotations going to come over. He's going to probably hear them over an elbow now. And there is that slow just to spot them when they get out onto the site. But again, these very late Viper's walls, and there's no commitment. There's no one to be able to stop them on this B site.
Yeah, with that null command as well, the slows now disappear, and now you charge into the site, you cross over, Spike is going to go down, no problem. Now for Rebels, they've got to play the retake against the Viper's Pit with a man disadvantage. This is a big round for Anonymo, big response in the mid round, and for Rebels, it's tough to see how they get into this one.
Oh, there's a tiny little corner to peek out from behind that Viper's Pit too. This post plant is so nicely set up from Anonymo. What can you do here?
I don't think you could do much if you're Rebels, but they'll try their best nonetheless. They run into the site. Kamika's hit the first. Yanni now down, and I think the save call absolutely is being made here for Rebels. Back away, get that operator, and concede a 7th round.
I love that Viper's Pit all the way in the back of the site. Again, with the Viper Wall, because you only used the Viper Wall for a little bit, throwing that one up to secure the plant. So you had a lot of gas left after the 8-second cooldown window to throw that one back up. Make the retake next to impossible. A couple players with the crossfire, but Sneak just gets a kill. Oh, I thought that was going to go untraded for a second. Either way, though, Anonymo are sitting very pretty in terms of money. So a nice little kill to get towards the end of that round. And I think that Anonymo have proven on both maps now, their mid-round calling has been very, very strong. We haven't seen quite the same come through from Rebels. And I mean, what a great idea. Because that was... I think that was clearly a pre-planned strategy you have against the Viper's Pit. Like, that's such a normal Viper's Pit to throw down inside of A main, and they make the call to push up halls and open the door so that there's always that threat of crunching down through cave, through halls, maybe through double doors as well. Like, it becomes very difficult to play on that A side, but this is a fast B1.
This keeps getting worse for the Mento. Another setup, this time to remove Gatch with the Hunter's Fury. Information has been picked up towards cave early, but it doesn't really do a whole lot because Anonymo made no secret about their commitment towards B. Fukasha removing Maniac is massive, but Kamik's passive plays caught out Janny trying to rotate over. Musashi gets aggressive, gets into the mix, but can't do much more than one. So 2v3, Anonymo still hold the advantage. At least position spotted of Admig, but that just forces the fight into Sneak. And now Lynxy left. He's damaged as well. Down on 36 HP. As that wall drops, it's a death sentence. Another round picked up for Anonymo. They're just not having a tough time at all. And I think, you talk about what happened in the last round with the protocol avoiding that Viper's Pit, knowing exactly what to do. you can see how comfortable Anonymo are on the attacking side of this map, and Rebels don't really have the protocols to respond to a team that are very comfortable here. You can just see that straight away.
And this is a map that we know Rebels have struggled with a little bit in the past, and I think too, like seeing that it's struggling on the defensive side, usually maps, you know, that you don't feel that comfortable on or whatnot, like defense is usually where you shine a little bit more, where it's a little bit easier to, you know, have your opponents come up with ways to break in onto a site. That has not been the case here, and after getting bullied on B a couple of times in a row, now quite a bit more presence over towards there with the operator, and also with this quick push in towards elbow. Really nice switch up there for Rebels.
Yeah, I love this adaptation, just trying to deal with the problem that's been coming their way. And now Masashi cutting them off. They try to rotate back, and he pushes down mid, catches out one, spike down, and now Anonymo tasked with a 2v4. It's a massive round for Rebels to win as well, because you consider what their investment looked like, right? They invested quite a bit in the players that didn't have a lot of cash, but it still wasn't the most fantastic buy. Not everybody had a premium weapon. If they can close out in these last two remaining players, that would be huge. Lynxy and Janny in the site. 50 seconds left, and they've creeped through Arch here. Ender, if they get behind them, if they find the operator, now it becomes a problem.
It's huge. The Swiss Army knife of walls right there, usually to get on to B, but that time to lurk up mid. But Lynxy, what a position to be in, gets a kill.
Spike down B.
Swings out for the headshot. Maniac out now, the snake bite to force him into the fight. It is certainly a doable clutch here for Admic. A 1v3 total. First victim already found. 2 remaining. Vukasha with shock darts up. Gatch has the rifle, the Vandal in hand. He has been softened up, his health no longer at full. And Admic is going to drop back into the back of the site.
This is awkward.
Shock dart signaling the position from Arch. They're split up into the 1v1s. Does he read the push from the other side of things? He's trying to change up his position, trying to separate them into the 1v1s. Tension off with the X-ray, and now we're going to see this push out through the Arch. Admic is dropping further and further back, and now that he takes up this position, he can spot that spike out to the right side of his screen, and he can also spot the cross of the Sova. And he's just waiting for contact. He wants Gatch to make the first contact play, but now they swing. It's a 1v1, and the time is ticking on that spike. Gatch is desperately trying to find this fight, but Admic plays it to perfection. A chance for Rebels. It's been let slip, and Anonymo have 9.
Oh my god, what ridiculous timing there from Admic. I don't know how he did it. There was a player in B main. He just naturally was able to beat the timing on that one and make it all the way from pillar to these arches. And then to get the kills on top of it as well, playing time. Rebels were going so patiently in the retake, not playing on the same angles either. So they weren't in positions to trade one another. The whole idea was, I guess, keep it so that you can't play off site with an elbow player and a player trying to walk into back of site, but it did not work out at all. And this B site has been continually abused by Anonymo on the attack. Again, we see Rebels try to put more presence in mid. Now 2 players pushing off this one, but B site, we're already on it.
Yeah, it's quick again from Anonymo. Kamik able to remove Masashi, was trying to make that risk play, trying to make it happen on the wrap around the back. Unfortunately, none of these pushes, none of these aggressive stances on the defensive side have worked, but luckily Lynxy stands up with 2. Admic and Sus both fall in one foul swoop. And alongside that kill from Vukashu, now the Rebels defense looks good. Now they have a shot at winning this round. They commit to the site, Kamik with a decapitation of the first. It puts Sneak into a 1v2, and he is going to hold for the peak, but Janny will best him. Finally, Rebels will double their scoreline. It's rinse and repeat. It's time and time again, and they try and retake this B site for the first time in a while, Ender. It's successful.
Look, it didn't come down to outstratting or figuring something out on the fly. It came down to some individual heroics of Lynxy and Janny on the retake. I mean, Lynxy just stuck back site, was able to find 2 kills to even give Janny a shot in that situation late in the round. And Rebels, they're going to appreciate any rounds they can take here. But now Anonymo, after realizing, okay, now Rebels have switched up the pace very clearly, much more of a focus put in on mid. Janny's read is they've been peeking out of double doors. So that's exactly, or sorry, Sus's read has been they've been peeking out of double doors, and that's exactly where he's going to take the op to swing very early on in this round.
Viper's pick going down. Freeze up a few more of your defensive players to get this aggression going again.
Dinko, the read again was, oh, if they use Viper's Pit, Janny peeks and gets the kill, they're going to open the door. And now they may do the same thing with the operator peeking all the way deep into cave.
Well, that's a good start, at least here for Rebels, but they should be able to find Sus. They're holding for it. Sus had an opportunity there with a missed first bullet, but Gatch able to recover. Snick cannot break the trademark in time. It's slowed, and Vukashi now turns back. Only one before getting traded out. Now the tour de force popped. Nick not committing to the angle of Gatch is actually going to begin to drop back. Now swings back again. Oh, it's a good position, but Gatch is quicker to the trigger and more accurate to the headshot. Anonymo down to just one player.
Rebels heating up a little bit late in the half, but I guess better late than never. Adamika's going to be walking into the crosshairs of an operator once again. Wow. And Janny is going to secure a third round for Rebels at the end here. Look, Rebels, it was not pretty till those last couple of rounds, but they pulled it out at the end. But I still am concerned for this team, how they've been able to adapt both on Split and now on Breeze. And with only 3 rounds in the first half, it might be a little bit too late here, Dinko.
Yeah, I felt especially because what you brought up in the first half, the fact that, you know, you look at Anonymo, they had all the answers to the protocols, but it feels like Rebels won't have that deep of a strapper, especially head on to the attacking side. It's a little more difficult to just adapt on the fly and really come up with some great strats here. So Rebels absolutely need a good start into this pistol. Do you believe in curses, Ender? You kind of a superstitious person?
No, I can't say I'm that superstitious.
No, me neither. But apparently some people are.
Some people.
This scoreline gets people going, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. You know, maybe 3 times 3 is 9. I don't know if there's like some kind of like cursed math in there or whatnot. But I think one thing's for sure, and that's that Anonymo have been the better team today. And I believe in skill, not curses. My money's on Anonymo.
I think I'll follow suit on that one. I think that's probably a little better to follow. But swing out from Sus inside of the site. It's actually Snick that's found the follow-up. And Sus makes quick work of that headshot. Gianni trying to make something happen, but Kamik swings out to the back of the site, and just 2 players left right now for Rebels. This is not the start they would have hoped for. In fact, it's an absolute massacre with a flank coming around the backside. It's 10-3. Anonymo have the first round of the second. And for Rebels, that one stings.
Yep, it absolutely does. And now we talk miracles, because Rebels, you almost got to force up into this round. And mainly because of Breeze. I think Breeze is a map that round 2 forces, especially like the Marshall buys, definitely don't feel that bad. Interesting to see so much attention put over towards the Sheriffs as opposed to the Marshalls. I'm a big Marshall fan myself, but clearly Rebels not the same. And on the attack, they're going to be going with Sheriffs only for the most part. Gats, of course, gonna have his built into the kit, and a very quick hit on towards the A site. No wall down just yet, but Rebels again exploding very early on into a round on the attacking side.
Yeah, Ultron being sent out of cave. It's going to get some information at least to try and give the attacking side a little bit of a chance, but given the fact that they've closed down this space, maybe Sheriffs can get involved now. Oh, it is certainly going to work out for Lynxy, but he's already lost a couple of his teammates. That Marshall gets caught on the drive-by peek. Musashi hits the headshot. On the snakebite reply, though, Admik is making quick work of the remaining forces of this attacking side and just cleans it all up. Another round for Anonymo. Maybe a little sweaty at the start of that round when the screen comes down, but it's recovered well for Admik.
And you know what this means, Dinko? We run it back again. We're going to buy up into this. It didn't work in round 2. You got to try it one more time because you know there's still 3 Spectres on the other side. But yeah, Lynxy, finally, there we go. We see a Marshall come on through. I'm actually a little bit...
It's so important on a map this big as well, Ender, right? It's like, even if you hit the Tig, right, the Sheriff can sometimes hit the headshot, but it only does a little bit of damage. It doesn't do the full 150. So you're in a rough spot there. So the Marshall can soften up some of these opponents and set up these weaker guns for some of those long-range fights.
It's the classic 1-2 swing. You swing with a Marshall and a Sheriff right behind it, because the Marshall can give you 101, and then a body shot with the Sheriff will finish the deal on that. And there's the swing, but nothing found just yet. They may be able to get onto the site, but they're going a little bit more patiently. As I say that, we dash on through with the smoke.
They realize with the Aldron actually tagging up the rendezvous back, they confirmed the site player, the anchor, had actually rotated further back, so they had a window of opportunity to move forward, but actually doing anything with this becomes difficult.
He made it all the way up through Nest. What a spot to be in.
Oh yeah, this is massive push forward from Rebels. They're all the way through. In fact, he can cut off rotation. Gatch is going to spot them. Admik is going to go down, and now really it's panic stations for Anonymo.
Yeah, they know one player is Halls. He heard that chamber in Halls, so as the rest of the team rotates back over, they have to be very cautious that there is going to be a late flank or a late swing. Sneak gets the kill, and now Kamik on the flank. They are completely stuck in A site. They know someone's on the flank, and the rest of the team is coming back through spawn.
Missed shots on the Marshall, and that feels like it's a missed opportunity perhaps to keep themselves at least even in this one. The flank from Kamik, they're not ready for it. The Spectre takes down Vukashi, and now just Musashi needs an absolute hero play. Perhaps antagonized by desperation, he's looking to pull off the clutch. One player left, it's Sus on low HP. The Sheriff could certainly walk away with this. An absolutely incredible play from Musashi. He will absolutely destroy your existence.
Musashi on 9 HP. What a clutch to keep Rebels not just in the map, in the series after losing Split. Just a Sheriff in hand. What a ridiculous Red Bull clutch coming through from him. I mean, long range angles, his team did so much work to make these players one shot to the body, but you still have to do some magic to pull off a round like that. He's got the null command ready to go into the next round too. So it is now Rebels off of a 4K clutch in a 1v4 have to find some momentum off the back of that.
I cannot use that.
That is just unbelievable. That's the kind of round that just kicks your team into action, and that's the kind of start to the next round that kicks them right back into the bin. Good start here for Anonymo. We'll see if they can really make something happen of this initial kill.
Yeah.
And you could be a little bit loosened up with the weaker guns.
Lynxy is deep up towards mid and Sus. Knives are going everywhere. Completely whiffing out on that. They could split into A when they want. That's the signal of the door opening. Maniac is like, oh, this feels awkward. There's someone above me. There could be someone right on next to me, but he rips the head off a Gash. And now Anonymo on Sheriffs up 5v3.
Two-man advantage for Anonymo. And the commitment to the A site for Rebels has been committed to, and Maniac holding the cross, stopping them from getting to the site safely, and now Lynxy thrust into a near impossible position. And so it will be. Maniac will close it with 12 rounds for Anonymo, map and series point.
That's a heartbreaker. You know, Musashi absolutely clutches up to steal away a round.
At least he has the best round of the series, and that won't be challenged.
That's true.
There's at least a little win coming out of this one.
Absolutely get to hold on to that one, but Anonymo just
he'll
shut
be
it
in
down.
the highlight reels.
Oh, right. Yeah. And you know what? Musashi also had that Stinger hero play back on A.
Yeah.
On defense. And you know what? He's got a Stinger in his hands once again. I've only seen this thing get 2Ks. So maybe, Copium, maybe there's a shot.
I was going to have to let you take this one away, and my feed seems to have stopped working.
My feed is hitching just a little bit, but we'll hold on as best we can here. Apologies if you either can or cannot see this. We are struggling with the action coming on through, but Sus in the back of the site gets a kill, even while suppressed. The rest of the team, too, on the retake, has a shot here to shut it all down. Musashi and Lynxy, the last two players alive in the situation, but they're making it happen. Musashi must find a way. One on
Musashi to the 1 versus 2, it's doable, certainly, to try and keep his team in it. Heroics yet again from this man, perhaps. He turns, but not this time. They do not allow it to happen. Anonymo will take it.
Wow. I hope you guys were all able to see that at the end. We had a bit of hitching coming through on our side, but Anonymo are able to secure a breeze map that was so convincing. I mean, 13-4 at the end of that one.